Hello and welcome to the channel. This is All the Gear and No Idea with me, Sav. If it's your first time to the channel, a massive welcome to you. And if you're returning to the channel, a massive welcome back, Savages. It is an absolute pleasure to have you here. Thank you ever so much for watching. And I hope everybody is having a super blessed day. Because my day is in recovery mode. So, last night we went to the ATEEZ concert in London. And it was incredible. I do not have enough words to describe how I feel about it and how great it was and just how phenomenal ATEEZ were. And they were just phenomenal. If I had to sum up in a word, phenomenal. It was just phenomenal. Everything about what they did was just insane. And so, we're going to do a kind of like a little day review. Sometimes after concerts I like to do a day review and just go through the day and just explain how it was. And yeah, it was good. So the day, so when I went to Dreamcatcher I was there disgustingly early. This time I decided not to get there as disgustingly early, but now that I think about it, I was probably still quite early, but I was in general admission standing, so I kind of had to get there fairly decently to get in. Yeah, but anyway, so I turned up, quite a bit of a queue already, as you might expect. I heard that some ATINY had been there since like early hours of the morning. Not surprised by K-pop stands anymore. Turning up ridiculously early seems to just be how it goes. But yeah, so turn up to the queue. I rocked up to this one on my own. As usually my friend who likes to come with me to things I hadn't told I was buying a ticket for. And then when I had re-looked, after buying my ticket, after I refreshed the page to be like, oh, I should probably, look at getting them a ticket, the price had doubled and I was just like, I will go on my own. But I'm glad I did. It was great. There were savages that were there that I got to meet in person, and it was very lovely to meet them. So Rain and Em and Tracy Lee, it was an absolute pleasure to meet you there. And we met quite a plethora of other people, some of which have joined us in the Discord channel. But yeah, it was just really nice to chat to people in the queue. It's always fun making friends in K-pop queues because everybody's so lovely, and it's just really easy to, talk to them, and because you're obviously sharing a love for what you're there for, so it's really easy to start conversations. Although in the beginning people are like very nervous, like siloed in their little groups, and then just it takes one crazy extrovert to just start talking to people and bring them all together. I wouldn't say I brought them all together, actually, that's wrong, but I just start talking to people, and then we end up just being together for a lot of the day, and it was really nice. And we met quite a lot of people. I will say though, a lot colder. It was very cold yesterday. It was wet. It was rainy a bit. So being in the queue for hours on end wasn't the nicest for some people. Some of the poor people we were with were absolutely shivering. Thankfully, being old and not a first timer to going to things, I had an overshirt and a jacket. So one person I gave my jacket to for a bit because they were literally shivering, and then somebody else who was shivering I gave my overshirt to for a bit, and just to help keep them warm because it was freezing. But I couldn't take any more off to give to other people because that would be inappropriate, and we're not. Yeah. Anyway, just push that way. But yeah, so it was really nice. A lot of people we met. Eden, Kaylee, and Charla were lovely. They were very nice to talk to in the queue, so shout out to them if you're watching this. It was a pleasure to meet you. I hope you all got home safely. And we had Wen, I hope you got home safely with Timmy. You guys were hilarious. It was an absolute pleasure to meet you guys. And gosh, with so many other people. I'm sorry if I don't actually mention you. Like, my brain is still processing last night. Yeah, so we had the queue, and then what O2 started doing, the staff started doing, is they started taking pockets of the general admission inside or to another queuing station, which was really weird, to kind of allow more people to join the general admission queue, because the O2 arena is massive, and there was a lot of people. So they kept getting taken over there, and then literally we got cut off from the last group that got taken inside, so we were still out in the queue. And then later on, it got so the general admission queue got so big they had to move us into like almost it was fenced off. It was this massive fenced off area with more queuing. And that was hilarious. And then they finally took us inside. But yeah, the staff did a great job of kind of maintaining everyone. Some communication errors, but what do you expect? I had a backpack on, and it wasn't until we were literally the doors were about to open and go to the arena that a staff member went, "You won't be able to take that inside, you should have taken that over there." And I'm like, well, nobody told me this, and I probably should have checked earlier, but I was like, so are you going to move anybody anytime soon? They're like, no, but if you come back and they've gone, we'll, bump you up a little bit. And I was like, great, thank you. So I had to run right round back to the front of main entrance of O2, go to the bagging area, and then come back. And by the time I got back, they'd moved all the people I was with. So I was like, can I go to them? And they're like, well, no, but you can go to this bit, and then you're just slightly closer. So it was nice of them to help me get slightly further back up where I had been. But there were people in the queue who were like, weren't you like 3 people from the front of this group of people? And I was like, yes, I was. And they were like, what the hell happened? I was like, I had a backpack they didn't allow. But no, but the staff were very lovely and very helpful at getting me back. And then we all got in, and they were controlling it very well, making sure people weren't rushing and, and getting hurt. And actually, during the concert, a lot of ATINY fainted. There was quite a number near us. And staff were, we were like, staff, come here, come help. People have fainted, and they were really quick, really responsive. So actually, a big hand to the arena staff. I know they don't always get everything right, and people have grumbles, but when they were needed, when ATINY were, in danger or had passed out or something, they were there, they were handing out water. So I do actually want to say a massive thank you to them for being, so on it and so helpful. So well done to the arena staff that helped. For the people that were near us, you did a great job. But yeah, so that was kind of the queuing portion of the day. Once we got in, O2 Arena is kind of massive if you've never been. It's quite huge. The capacity is pretty decent. I was on the floor with some of my other savages and friends, and we were. So they had the stage, they had an extended walkway and an extended bit of the stage. We were to the left and back a bit, so we weren't close. But when they came up to the extended stage, I could see them. You could make out muscle definition, okay? I'm just saying there was a lot of it. A lot of abs, a lot of chest. So, keep the thirst for in a bit. So we were fairly close, but it was just really nice to, during it, to look around. Once the place had filled up quite a bit more and just see how many people were there. And I was actually I know I've only known ATEEZ for about a month, but actually it was really nice just to see just how many people had come to the concert to support them. Knowing from where they've kind of come from, their company was small and they were the first group they brought in, to, being in an arena that it wasn't fully sold out, but it was packed. And then with all the light teenies, when everybody held them up, I think I've got a clip of it that I will try and share and work into this so you can see. And just when they did a little crowd interaction bit where they got light teeny colors changing. So they're like, okay, we're gonna go for red. So when I say 1, 2, 3, light teeny, and all the light teenies would go back up, and they would go from whatever color they were before to red, and you just look around the stadium at just this sea of red. It was I'm really glad I could witness it. I didn't have a light teeny myself, but just watching it for me had a big smile on my face. I loved it. It was so good to see. And I think ATEEZ really enjoyed seeing how many people were there with light teeny. To them, it must have been incredible, because they were how many people are here for the first time? And just the amount of hands that shot up, mine included. I was right up there. I was it's my first time. And they were wow, that's incredible. And then they were if you've been to see us twice, and it was their crowd interaction was fantastic. and I will discuss more of it a bit because I'm going to do kind of this in sections. But so some groups sometimes will have a translator. I think they used a translator only twice. I think Hongjun said something in Korean once and had it translated, and then Mingi said something later on and it was translated. But apart from that, when interacting with the crowd, introducing themselves, everything was in English. They did so well. Like, the amount of effort ATEEZ put in to speaking in English in the London concert was just... It was so genuinely wholesome and just showed how much they cared for the fandom, that it was so moving. Like, there were points in this concert, from stuff they were doing, because I was in awe. Like, I was just so focused on what they were doing. I would catch myself and I had literally the ear-to-ear biggest grin on my face, and I was just like, this is wonderful. This is one of the best experiences in a concert I've ever been to. Okay, I can't completely see the stage. I can't completely see them. If they're right back at the stage, there were quite a few tall people in front of us. I'm not that tall. So I couldn't, I wasn't able to see everything all of the time, but just what was up on the screen and listening to them, it was incredible. It was incredible. Genuinely just incredible. And so that was the day. That was getting in. ATINY were lovely. ATINY, those of you that I did meet and haven't shouted out, I know I mentioned quite a few of you earlier. It was so nice. One, to meet a lot of you. And my day was so made. And I kind of wasn't expecting it. It caught me off guard a bit, but I was very close to tears when it happened. They'd just performed Gorilla as the last song. Obviously they come out to do the encore, but so the last song. They've just performed it. We've done Break the Wall. I did all 4 Break the Walls. Just not tooting my own horn, but I screamed at the top of my lungs all 4. And then gone out, and we were a couple of us were talking around, and I turned around and this really lovely person behind me, she just went, "Do you do YouTube?" I was like, "Yeah." She goes, "I've watched your videos. They're really good." I was like, oh my gosh. I was so taken back. And it was just so nice. It was just so nice. It was so sweet of them to say. And I genuinely, I turned back around a bit later because we we're getting ready for the encore, and I was choking up a little bit inside. I had to be right, just let's focus on the end of the show, because it was such a genuinely wholesome moment for me. I really appreciated it, and I'm really so. I think you said your name was Carrie. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, I've forgotten. My brain is mush. So I do apply. If you're watching this, I so apologise, but please know that you genuinely did make my day. And I think when they said it, I was like, oh my gosh, I was bow thanking them, how moved I was. I was like, that's so lovely of you. But ATINY en masse are loud. Oh my gosh! Every time someone appeared on that screen, or after they come out, it was a cacophony of noise. I'm pretty sure I'm still deaf in one ear of just the sheer screams that were coming from ATINY. A member would start talking, and I'm like, I can't hear them. ATINY were going off. You guys en masse are loud. You are such a supportive fandom. It was brilliant. But I would have liked my hearing. just a little bit. But no, ATINY were lovely. There wasn't a lot. You go to some concerts, people push and elbow and trying to get closer. And Hongjun had said, "Look, guys, safety first. Please don't push. We're gonna move around. Please don't push. Please don't shove each other. And if you get in trouble, just let somebody know. Staff are passing water around. So if you need something, let people know." Which I thought was again showed just how caring the members are for the fandom. But it was great. Like, even somebody else near me said it was like, you know, we've had enough space. We haven't felt overcrowded or crushed. Not a lot of people were moving. Like, the crowd naturally shuffles as things happen. Some people leave. A couple of ATINY fainted. So gaps do pop up and the crowd do shift. But again, like, people went like elbowing past, like shoving, or like, so it was really nice. ATINY like were really good about it. I'm sure this may not have been the case for everywhere, but that's just what we had in our area. It was really nice. So ATINY, a big hand to you guys for just being such a lovely fandom and not making an overly stressful concert situation for myself. I can't speak for everybody else. They may feel differently. But I have been to concerts where I've like, this is the worst experience of my life because people are just pushing and crushing each other and just, oh, I want to get a bit closer, kind of, you know. But no, ATINY, you were brilliant. So it was an absolute pleasure to be in the crowd with you and experience this with you. So thank you ever so much for making that an enjoyable experience, apart from obviously screaming my ears off. But yeah. And in terms of production, oh my gosh, so I do not profess to be in any way, shape or form an expert on this, but my university degree is in sound and live events. I did a couple of summer jobs doing live events. It was for a little bit, you know, something I did quite a lot of before I moved into different areas of work. So at any time I go anywhere or go to a concert and stuff, I am forever checking out the setup. I pay really close attention to production. You know, how are they doing with, like, what's the video mapping like? What's the camera work like? What's the audio? How's the audio sound? You know, just stuff like that. Like, I pay attention to it because that's what I studied. And I thought their production value was brilliant. The video, so you had the stage and they had two massive screens on the side, or like walls. It's like video walls, and one at the back. And they changed a little bit of the stage because they had a riser in the stage. There was a section that rose up and the members were on it from time to time, and stairs. So it was like it was brilliant, and the things they were pulling up on the video walls was just incredible. It was just like really enjoyable to watch from that point of view, just how they did it and what they put up there and how it fitted in with all of the songs and how they worked that with Lightini, actually, because obviously with fandom light sticks you can sign into on the like particular group like stick app, and it will connect and the show will be run, like, it obviously moves in tandem. But it was just so good that everything was so in tandem. Like, if there was colours in the lights on the wall, you bet it was working. Like, the Lightini was kind of following along, and it was phenomenal to watch. It was brilliant from a production standpoint. It was class. Audio, when ATINY weren't so loud you could actually hear what was going on. Members' mics, really clear. When they were talking, phenomenally clear. Sometimes I've been to places and you can't, like, there's not enough, like, speakers or anything. The audio isn't great. And it happens rarely. But no, like, you could hear members, hear what they were saying. Music sounded phenomenal from the speaker stacks. I personally love a bit more bass, but maybe a lot of the bass was being absorbed by all the people in front of me. But that's just me. Sometimes I just like to feel like my guts are about to explode. But it could have been absorbed. So it might have been there, but from where I was like, I could have done with a little bit more. But overall, audio, phenomenal. I'll get to individual member vocals later. That was just incredible. But yeah, so I thought that was really good. So when we were waiting for the show to actually start, what they had up on the wall was like the name of the tour, the fellowship. But they made parts of the video wall look like a prison. If I wanted to say in tandem with lore and the story, you know, for ATEEZ, because they're really good on their story, A lot of it looked like they had two watchtowers, and then like a main building was like a prison building. So I wanted to assume it was kind of like the Guardians, the Android Guardians, like prison / bunker area, or just, it didn't look like the warehouse. It looked like, you know, if you had a prison, massive watchtowers, and like searchlights were going around it. But I thought that was really cool, and then just what they were pulling up on the screen when songs were playing was fantastic. And then obviously for a lot of it, they had the two outside video walls was the members that they caught on camera. And I thought the camera team, again, big shout out to the camera team, did a great job of catching members who were singing at that time, like making sure they were on who was singing. Sometimes it's a bit, because it was like singular focus from time, like they wouldn't have like massively wide shots on the outside. It was like specific member shots. On occasion though, if I had to be picky, there were a couple of times where they changed and it wasn't in focus, but a lot of those was when it was on Yeosang, and I actually start to believe that maybe it's just because the camera was having so much trouble with how gorgeous that man is that it had to take a moment to focus, because he was so, and like he looked phenomenal. But again, I will get to that later. So every time I noticed that something wasn't in focus properly, it was when they had changed the Yeosang and it was trying to like fix itself. I'm like, oh damn, it's him. It's too much. It's too bright. But no, so I thought that was really great as well. Just the overall production of it and just everything they did for it. And they had a massive moon. I don't know why the moon was there a lot. I thought at one point they might have lowered it, but they just had a massive moon up above the stage. And I was kind of like, what are they going to do with this? And then they didn't really do anything with it. At one point, I think for one of the songs it lit up, but that was, or they lit the underside of it, but that was about it. I was a bit intrigued why that was there, but anyway. But yeah, so that was production. Let's move on to ATEEZ then. Let's move on to why you've actually come to listen to me review this. ATEEZ, by far and wide, put on the best show I have ever seen in my life at a concert. And I've seen quite a few, so I do not make that statement lightly. Like my favorite, I've been to see my favorite band in the world, Foo Fighters, before, and they were incredible. Like, incredible. So for me to say that ATEEZ, for me, were just better than that to me is huge. Okay, that is a lot, in my opinion. Oh my gosh, start to finish, 1000%. They didn't drop off once. Nothing they did. Like, even when Jongho had mic issues, I only found out he had mic issues afterwards, okay? You could still hear him. He was incredible. They start the show, like, just for like 5-6 minutes before they came on. They had, like, VCR speaking intro, where it was kind of like introducing part of it. It's like part of the story, and them like saying some stuff. And then you're like, oh, is it going to start? And then you waited, and then they black out the arena, and they come in wearing robe. Like, they had several outfit changes, but, you know, first outfit, they come in wearing robes. They come in, and just, that was it. From there, it was just 100% balls to the wall, incredible for 2 and a bit hours. Like, they popped off for scene changes, and we had VCR clips, which is in the set list, to go get changed. But when they were on stage, oh yeah, that was it. It was game time, and they brought it. They brought it so hard. People were saying, like, in comments before in videos, is like, you know nothing until you see them live. And now I'm a believer. I'm fully on board with that. Just, yeah, they come out, they're in robes. I think their dance crew, BB Trippin'. Is that who it is? Have I got that right? We're there with them, which I thought was just wonderful that they got, like, they were there with them. They were incredible themselves. Everyone was coming out in robes, and they come out holding things, and I'm like, what are they holding? And then they start the first song with, and they've got lights. They've got lights, and they're like lighting part of the members who are singing, and they're like revealing themselves by taking off the hoods, and just, it was just the sheer showmanship and performance element of that was out of just nothing I'd seen, nothing I've been to see at a concert for a music group. It was just like so like well practiced. It was so on point. No, like, it wasn't incorrect in any way, shape, or form. And what I mean by incorrect is just everyone did exactly what they needed to do when it needed to be done. And that was it. Like I said, that was just the beginning. The crowd went wild. And I didn't video a lot of this concert, because I was literally just shell-shocked, in awe of them. I just had to stare. I was just standing there. I was just standing there staring at them, like, jaw on the floor, like, oh my gosh, this is the best thing I've ever seen at a concert. Just out of this world showmanship and performance. They are the performance kings. Like, if I wasn't a believer before, and I think I became one pretty quickly watching as their MVs, however many MVs we watched before we got to this concert, but to see it live, to see it in person with my own two eyes, that was it. That was it. I'm on board. I'll run down the street and yell it if you need me to. If you need someone to preach the word of ATEEZ and they're like being performance kings, I'll do it. I'll do it for you. I'll wave that flag. I'll be there. It was nuts. 23 songs in 2 and a bit hours, plus costume changes, with costume changes included in the VCR bits, which apparently are VCR bits you only get if you go to the concert. So I was like, what? That's insane. And they added to the story, the lore in some of these VCR clips. Like the last one was them being so flipping soft with each other. It was adorable. Like I think I was gonna melt with how cute they were being. But yeah, they come out, that first bit with the robes, and then just the pure energy radiating off of them. I hope they enjoyed that concert as much as the rest of they did. I think they did. I think they loved it, because you could tell just by the grins on their faces at times and just how like much they seem to be feeling it and enjoying themselves. Like I know there's a bit of like acting involved in groups, and you go to all these places and you kind of got to make it seem like they're the best place in the world. Like I get it, but like genuine, like I thoroughly believe that they enjoyed this concert, because they seem to be having so much fun with it, and just grins at times like all over their face. I think Hongjun was out of position for once, like briefly for a song. They had to move, like quickly move out the way to get in a position, and just Song was just there, just like grinning at him whilst they're still going. It was during Wave actually, and that was so much fun. And I think I called what would happen in Wave, but again I'll come to that in a bit. But yeah, just their facial expressions, movement, energy, everything. They gave everything to that. And they still had the energy for it. They were like, ATINY, you look tired. And we're like, no, are you tired? And they're like, nah, let's keep going. And we were like, yes, let's go. Just keep going. I didn't want it to end. I'm kind of glad it did, because I realised after I got out, I'm like, I have no energy left. But that's neither here nor there. But yeah, just, I think my favourite song, because I didn't know all of them. I didn't know all of the songs, because I hadn't had the time to get to all of them. And actually I purposefully didn't listen to all of them that was on the set list, because I wanted to, I was just there to experience it. So we'll go and check those songs out. We'll check out the MVs and stuff and hear it from that side of view. But to experience it for the first time from them live, oh gosh, like nothing's going to top that. nothing is going to beat that experience. For listening to that, that was just incredible. I cannot get over it. And I think some ATEEZ were like, who is this guy? Because like with one of the sandwiches I was with, I was like, what's this song called? And I was like, which one's this? And they were like, okay, this one's this one, this one's this one. Obviously I knew like Wonderland, Gorilla, when Cyberpunk came on. Lost my damn mind. And Answer, Sector 1. Answer and Sector 1 right out the gate after, I think, New World started. I need to double check the set list. Oh, that was beautiful. Turbulence and Wave, like, oh, that was gorgeous. Wave, as I said, I think I called Wave to a T. So, first set of songs, massive energy. Then they came to more of their kind of emotional songs. They had Dazzling Lights, Mist, after the first outfit change, and it kind of like, so big start, slowed it down a little bit, and then just ramped it straight back up again. Which I, again, knew they were going to do, but during kind of like their build back up, when they got to Wave, is they bought out these in big inflatable balloons that had like the tour name on it and stuff that started coming out, and they were throwing them around, and so they were, that's because I said, I think during my Wave reaction, I said what I'd love to see is when they're playing this is for them to be like moving around the stage and interacting with people, and that's what they were doing. And then partway through it, they started doing the choreo for it, or like in little pockets of 4 doing the choreo on the extended stage, and they were having so much fun with it, and they were smiling, and like that's one of the moments I caught myself smiling, because it was just so thoroughly enjoyable to see them having so much fun. Seeing them have like enjoying it as much as they were made me enjoy it 1,000 times more. Like, it really heightened that experience, and I was just grinning. I was just so happy watching them enjoy themselves. And like, I think there was a moment, I can't remember who it was, some other ATINY will help me out here, but I think, which member was it? Was it Uyung had like hit one of the balloons, and I think it come off Jongho and hit Hongjun in the head whilst he was singing. And this is how professional that man is. He got hit and he fell to the floor. He kind of like dramatically fell to the floor and was still singing, still doing his bit. I thought that was fantastic. Songwell, when he wasn't absolutely wrecking the hell out of me with his facial expressions, tongue pokes, and overall just raw sex appeal. It was like being really soft and hitting the ball, like some of the balloons out that he caught, and just, yeah, seeing them have a lot of fun with it and interacting with the crowd and enjoying it was really, really fun for me. Like, that was a highlight of the entire show for me. Individual members then. I'm going to run through them all and just how I found them. And I will say now, it's not a ranking system, I'm just going through how I saw their, them perform and stuff, and what I took from it. And so there's no hate here. None of this will be a they did a bad bit moment, because that's not what I've got to say. I just wanted to go through my highlights from each of them. There you go, it's like a highlight reel from each of them, how I felt. So overall, they did great. I'm going to run through them all. So I'm going to start with the captain. And I said in one of my last videos, just his charisma and just like the attitude he exudes, and just there's just something about him. Oh my gosh. Did he dial that up to 11 during performance day? I thought he was the coolest cat in the world. I feel a bit weird saying it like that, but he was so cool. Oh, he was coming out on some of his rap bits, bursting with energy, and there was basically like crouching down and like popping off, and just everything he did was just dialed up to, like, they all were, but he was just, his cool factor, his attitude, everything about him was just spot on. He like, my word for him was cool. He was cool. He was elite cool. That doesn't make sense. Like, I cannot explain just the sheer brilliance of that man. Okay? A lot of you will know it. A lot of you will agree with it. But I just thought, yeah, he was cool. He was so cool. I was looking at him going, you are so cool. Like, I wish I had a molecule of how, like, your coolness. He just was phenomenal. His rapping was brilliant. The way, and I've said this in my video, I love how he and Mingy ping pong rap and stuff, and how they bounce off each other when they're interchanging rap parts and stuff like that. And I think he shouted "fix on" with Mingy at one point, and I was just like, oh, that was freaking insane. That's incredible. So Hongjun, yeah, and when he was crowd interacting, talking to everyone, I was just like, yeah, you are the leader. You are such a, like, again, humble person. Like, he had, like, you know, the presence of a leader, but again, just, he's so soft with ATINY and just so nice with ATINY, and just really excuse me, just really, really wholesome as a person. But when he was performing, oh my gosh, just the attitude of the man was ever present. And even when they were doing some of the, like, more vibey and slightly slower songs, you were just like, this guy is just, everything he does is, he's got the Midas touch. It's, everything he does turns to gold. But yeah, so that was my take on Hongjin. Songhwa, if you see this, I hope you enjoy the shirt. A lot of ATINY enjoyed the shirt on the day. Everybody found it funny. Funny shirt. Funny moment that you've done in the past. However, you on stage, demon is not a good enough word anymore for what you did. And I think you know what you did. You were well aware of what you were doing to everyone. And just the murder present from your actions will stick with me for the rest of my life. Okay? And if you weren't already my bias, you solidified that position so much harder during this concert. Okay? You demon. You are just a demon. Everything you do, every time you were going off, you're dancing. Just when you were up front focal point in the dances and dance breaks and stuff, just everything Songhwa did was just pure raw sex appeal. Just from facial expression, even if he was like going off, but the tongue pokes, the like shirt open for chest, and just in part of the choreo it's like a hip thrust there. Just everything he was doing was just, it was murder, and he knew what he was doing. But oh my gosh, his live vocals were incredible. So good. Just freaking insane. When they did Turbulence, you know, and Song's bit, love, like them together, but I was thoroughly enjoying Songhwa's vocals in that, and just some of their other slower, like more emotional songs. But when they were doing the hard, let's just call it hardcore songs, stuff like Gorilla and stuff like that, he was just popping off. He was going for it. And when they were doing fan interaction bits, he kept coming over to our corner quite a lot, and it was really nice, because I was like, yeah, he's there, he's so close. But he was so soft. And again, they have this like demon, really mad, energetic side to him. But when they were like talking and like seeing him perform, and like the facial expressions that he was going through, to them talking, and him all of a sudden being like really nice and soft and ATINY, it's so nice to meet you kind of attitude. I was like, is that the same person? He was incredible. I loved him. He was phenomenal. So that was Songhwa. San, I'm gonna go San next. ATINY warned me when I first checking out the group that San was the guy that went 300% every time. Like, he is the dance machine. To see that, and I have noticed that in MVs and dance practices, and I think I've pointed it out, but to see it with my own eyes, either on the screen or from the times I could actually see the stage, to say he is one of the best dancers that I know of in K-pop would be an understatement. Best dancer, male dancer. Everything he did, done 300, tried 3000%. Everything he did, every part of it, he was going off. The man was. They were all dripping in sweat, but the man was covered in it. And again, like Songwha, the sheer sex appeal of the man was nutty. Stay away from him. Just stay. If you want to live, move back. Because he was just, incredible. Like, ATINY was screaming for him. They were screaming for everyone. But when San came up on, I was like, oh gosh, I'm deaf, but he was incredible. Everything he was doing, every movement was just just 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. Straight 10 out of 10. 11 out of 10. 100 out of 10. Just... but then when he was interacted, he was so cheeky. He He knew what he was doing again. He was so cheeky when talking with ATD, and when the camera was focused on him, the little smirks and the library, the little wink, just everything he was doing was cheeky. But he was fantastic. Yeah, to see him perform in person was actually a privilege. I'm just saying. San was cracked out of his damn mind. I am talking way too long about this. This is going to be quite a long review. I'm so sorry. I'll try and cut some of this down. But yeah. Yaosang. This is... I've said that man is a fairy in MV reactions. That man is gorgeous. He is a beautiful human being. And again, he looked insane. And I genuinely believe that's why the camera couldn't focus on him properly. He was too much. He was dazzling. He was just phenomenal. He lit that stage up. Everything he was doing, again, he lit that stage up. And it was... I think it's nice to see... I've been checking out some things behind, but other people also mentioned this when we were in the queue and stuff, speaking to other ATINY. Just how nice it's been seeing him come out of his shell and being a bit more open. And this is why I'm saying they were feeling themselves that night, because Yaosang was just going off. The man was feeling himself. He was all over that. He was one of the highlights on that stage for me, to be fair. He was just... And when he got shy doing the cyberpunk chair bit, that I don't know why he was acting shy, because he wasn't shy for anything else. Oh my gosh. That man knew what he was doing when they were talking, and the camera was right zoomed on in his face, just the way he was taking the earpiece out, and he was like, "Go on, say my name louder, scream my name louder." And ATEEZ were screaming his name, and just the little cheeky kisses he was blowing, just fake, he knew. But again, just added to the fact that they were feeling themselves, they were enjoying it, because Yaosang was just, again, on another level of cheekiness and just enjoying it. And just his crowd interaction was fantastic. like, and you could see it, but his vocals, oh my god, I need more Yao-sang vocals. I need more. I need him to have more. I need to hear him more. I want a solo. I want a Yao-sang solo. I just want to hear his vocals more. Oh, he was incredible. I loved his voice. It was just brilliant. You know, I think for me was, again, when they would, like, when they're doing the hard choreo songs, he's zeroed in like the rest of them. But what I really noticed for and again, it was kind of that, that really cute boyfriend kind of vibe you get from him sometimes. Just how adorable he is when they were doing some of the more like the fan interactions and just the walking around and softer bits. Oh my gosh, that man was adorable. He absolutely insane vocals when he was singing and when he was performing, but for me it was just his wholesome softness and just his adorable puppy vibe when they were going around and talking to the crowd and stuff. Just that really stood out to me. That's the one, like, the big thing I took away from his performance of the night was his softness and love for ATINY, and when he was going around doing stuff, and when they were, the songs where they were moving around a lot more and it wasn't them doing the full choreo, just the grin on his face again was contagious. Just seeing him smile and having fun with the other members and just enjoying what was going on put a massive smile on my face. It was like so just yeah. It's so nice rethinking it and just watching his face just smiling and just being as adorable and as lovely as he is, and he is such a lovely person. They're all lovely, but yeah, for me was adorable yesterday and just really wholesome. Which moves me on to the chief of mischief, Wooyoung. Oh my gosh. When I say ATEEZ was screaming whenever someone came on the screen, we must have been near a Mingi Wooyoung group, because when he came on the screen, oh my gosh, did ATEEZ go wild near me. Flipping heck. And watching his interaction with the crowd as well, he was really cute. But what I loved is his interaction with the members when they're doing stuff. Woosan, I was on a Woosan trip the night before, okay? And people in the Discord server will tell you I was on a Woosan trip. I was in there. But just watching how he was with other members, there was a point where Yao-sang had been going, hey, you guys still tired? No, well, we're not tired. We've still got energy. So I think it was him, or was it Sun? I feel like it was Wooyoung. What came up was like, right, do push-ups. It might have been Sun. Have I got this wrong? Am I remembering this incorrectly? But Songwoo had to be mum and come and split his children up. But it was like, but they were all just soft with each other. But Wooyoung was like, playing with other members, and I just thought that was really cute. But again, his vocals are incredible. His performances were insane and just mind-boggling how they're able to move the way they move sometimes. But no, he was brilliant. He was brilliant. He was so funny to watch, so impressive to watch. They all were, but Wooyoung was very impressive to watch. Mingi, for me, was the best of the evening. The sheer dominance that man provided on stage, anytime he was singing, anytime he was rapping, anytime he was the focal point, anytime it was his turn, he dominated it. He was my standout highlight of the evening. Anytime he was feeling it. He knew he was in charge that evening, I think. in terms of performance. Everything he did had presence, it had gravitas, it was dominant. He was dominant on that stage. And he looked freaking cool as hell doing it with his new short pink hair, but he had like at different times he had like shades on and stuff. Just attitude, swag, coolness level was on another level. He dominated for me last night. By far my standout performer of the evening. Anytime he touched, like he was on the mic, he was going off. Anytime they were doing dance bits, he was going off. To me, this is just my opinion, Mingy was the factor for me of the entire show. Crowd interaction, performance, vocals, everything. Showmanship, everything. Dialed up to a different level. Like, if I were to, I could go on about him forever. I can't because this has already been long enough. But Mingy was the standout for me. And I knew that watching it. I was thinking, when I review this, Mingy's going to be the one I say has been top for me. Just, oh yeah, that. Absolutely phenomenal. Just dominant. He dominated. His dominance was known. I was like, okay, Mingy's here. And then I believe that leaves us with just the matinee. Jongho is the main vocal. His vocals, as we know, are god tier from what we've seen in the MVs. I'm just saying it now that you know nothing. If you've never seen, like, if you're basing it just off the MVs, it doesn't. His live vocals trounce it, smash it, blow it to pieces, absolutely kill it. And I know I said we did a dance relay video and I was like, oh, he's not really moving much. And ATINY, rightfully so, in a way, came to his defense. Like, you can't, like when he dances just as well as the rest of them. And I tell you what, because I'd read that comment before going, or some of ATINY's comments on the video going, yeah, I don't think he, kind of giving him enough credit here. You just, he performs just as well. Yep. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I was watching because I was like, go on then. I was thinking of the comment and I was like, I was just basing it off the dance relay. I wasn't saying he was a bad dancer. You watch him perform and they're doing the rest of it. Oh, the grace and just style that he had sometimes. I think there was this one bit where he turned and put his leg came out, and I think it was one of his last outfits. Kind of had like coattails, like they just had fabric flowing freely afterwards. So when it spun, when he spun, it spun with. Oh my gosh, I thought he looked incredible when he was doing something like he span, leg was out of movement, and it just slow-mo followed him round, and I was just like, is this guy moving at a different speed to the rest of us? It was like he was born to be on a stage. And then, I found out he had mic problems, and I was like, when? Because I don't think there was a point where he wasn't singing that I couldn't hear him, okay? If not from the speakers, just from the man himself. I was just like, when did he have mic problems? His vocals are just nuts. They're insane. That is baffling. I need a solo from him as well. And again, his attitude on stage is something else. Just, he knows he is the moment when it comes to vocals. He knows when he's hitting them high notes, when he's hitting them extended notes. Oh my gosh, he knows he is the vocal moment, and he brought it so hard. I was just like, this man is incredible. They were all incredible. All of them were incredible. Everything was brilliant. But yeah, Jongho's vocals are something else live. But yeah, Okay, I've waffled on for almost an hour, so I'm really sorry if you're still watching this, but I just so thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm so passionate about it. I've been talking for ages, so I do apologise. But thank you ever so much for watching to me go on about this this concert and my kind of review on it. But yeah, if I had to give it a number out of 10, it gets 11,000. Like, best performance I've ever seen in my life. End to end, everything. As a whole, as individuals, best thing I've ever seen in my life. And I don't say that lightly. I really don't. I'm not doing that to blow smoke up ATEEZ's ass, to appease ATINY, to get people to like. That is my genuine hand on heart, the good Lord above as my witness, best performance I've ever seen in my life. They were something else. And I think it will be hard to beat. And I really want to go see some other good groups. I would love to see Stray Kids. But honestly, I think ATEEZ will be hard to beat. I believe that. I believe that with all my heart. But yeah, there you go. So that's kind of like my review of the day from end to end. Sorry, it's a very long review. But again, I just want to say thank you to everybody that I met during the day. If you are watching this, it was such a pleasure to meet you. I'm sorry for me. I can be a bit much, say some stupid things, think I'm funnier than I am. So I thank you for putting up with me. You were all wonderful. I hope you all got home safely. I hope you all had such a wonderful time there. To ATINY that may be possibly watching this, how did you find it if you were there? And we did, I didn't speak to you that day. How did you find it? What did you enjoy? What was your highlight moment? Let me know. I'd love to know. I'd love to know how everybody else found it, because this was just how I found it. But yeah, so thank you to ATINY who I met. Thank you for people for putting up with me. Thank you ATEEZ, if by any chance you some of you see this. Apparently Songhwa likes to search his name to see what comes up. So Songhwa, if you see this, firstly, thank you ever so much for coming to London. Thank you for such a brilliant performance, and thank you for absolutely blowing my tiny little brain. Hope you enjoyed the t-shirt. But yeah, guys, thank you ever so much for watching. I hope you kind of enjoyed this review. Let me know. If not, I'll not make it as long next time. But yeah, hope everybody has a super blessed day. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay savage. And as always, I shall catch you in the next video. Bye.